Dutch, and we import from Bruges in Belgium.
Okay.
And so, and it's made by a small chocolatier there, who Annette actually communicates with on occasion, and says, "I'd like this, this, and this." And my favorite is probably I have two. It's called a hand rolled dark truffle. So it has a dark chocolate center with a dark shell, and then it's rolled in pure cocoa powder, like by hand, like so. So every one of them looks different. The other one I like is a dark chocolate sea salt on the top of the shell, and inside is a mixture of European caramel and dark chocolate.
Oh my God, you're making me hungry now.
I mean, it's like a drug.
Yep, we definitely gotta go check that out.
It's really bad. It's Chocolaterie. It's in New York, or chocolaterie-nj.com. You can get it from.
That's cool. So, back to music side of things. The video for Electric Rattlesnake was fantastic. You
Yeah.
came up with the concept. Who did you work with on that?
Kevin Custer, who had done Bring Me the Night and also did Skull and Bones with Overkill and Randy Blythe.
Where did you film the video?
It's at the Paramount Theater in Asbury Park, New Jersey. We had actually done a live DVD there in 2002. We had sold the place out, and the people down there like us, and it's old-time theater. It's got ghosts. You know, it's one of those places.
Have you ever had an experience with anything paranormal in there?
Well, there's actually, and this is the saddest story. It's a story from the 50s. There's a section of the Paramount Theater where we did Electric Rattlesnake. You come off the stage and you come up to the dressing rooms on the second tier, and it's as long as the theater is. There's dressing rooms, so it's probably 100-foot or plus corridor, 150 feet. And at the back is a steel door that's been padlocked. And beyond that steel door is more dressing rooms from a fire that happened in the 50s. They've padlocked it because if they open it, they will never pass code. It's been so that they wouldn't be, they'd have to do renovation to it. But what happened was, it was a show, and there was two little girls, two sisters were burned to death in the, and they're the ghosts of the Paramount. So somebody will always show you this room, and you go in and you open it up, and it's just how it was. There's broken sinks where they tried to escape out of the sinks. Yeah, and they've left it exactly the same. All still charred. You can see everything burned. But the women who clean it leave, Beanie Babies and teddy bears.
Yeah, really?
So there's this dark, burned room with all these great little stuffed animals in there. And on the other side is an ashtray and a beer stein, and it's the janitor burned to death trying to get to them. He got caught in the corridor trying to break down the door to get to the girls. So there are three ghosts that we know for sure in the
That is
Paramount.
a crazy story.
So it's kind of a unique place to do a video. When you start feeling all this vibe that's going on.
Yeah.
So there's actually another person who died there, but it was not as noble or as a story like this. But
well, I think the video itself has a little creepy vibe.
it's got a creepy vibe to it. The only difference, we left the idea up to Kevin Custer, who had done it, came up with the concept. And I just remember at the end, he had the character, the main character in the video, sweating and afraid. And I just wrote him an email and I said, "There's no sniveling in Overkill." That was my comment. And then he turned him into lighting the cigarette up, and the electric coming out of his eyes. And, it worked out well.
So, what are you looking? This is the kickoff for Killfest too. So, what are you looking forward to with the rest of the tour? Are there any areas that you're looking to visit that you haven't been to for a while, or anything?
Well, touring is always just great for me. This is my attraction. This is my drug. Even at home, you can start feeling it. And I get this from across the table. Would you just fucking go already? So I'm looking to kick it off in Philadelphia tonight because we're doing the interview. But hopefully many more shows will follow. But a day at a time. I mean, that's the best way to look at it.
So what's the most memorable show that you played?
Memorable show. It's so funny because I just did an interview, and I'll tell you a story, and it's a Philadelphia story. I'm walking down 10th Street a few years ago, and there's a guy who's begging for money, and he recognizes me. This guy's tats on and longer hair, and he asked if I was a singer in Overkill, and I said, yeah. He goes, I'm a big fan. I said, what are you doing down here? He said, well, a little problem, and I got caught up in dope, and I'm just out of the rehab but I'm clean for a couple of months. And I said, so I dropped a few bucks. I said, get some lunch, And he goes, man, if I had a few more bucks, I'd come see it. And I said, you know something? I'm gonna leave you a ticket. He goes, hey, my wife's on the other end of the street. I said, you're both doing this? And the guy had clear eyes. So I said, you know something? I said, night's on me. So I gave him the tickets, right? In any case, the drum tech goes, wow, that was just great. That's a nice thing to do for a couple of junkies, right? And I said, that's not the point. I said, they're metalheads. I mean, they're into this. Well, the next night we're at Poughkeepsie, right? And I come running out on the stage, and there's this, like a kind of a ruckus going on in front of the stage. It's just not abnormal, but it just seems a little more violent than normal. And it's two girls, One kind of looks like, milk-fed, and the other one looks kind of wiry and dopey, And about the third song, the wiry and dopey one takes the monitor cable and puts it over the neck of the other girl and starts choking her like this. And she gets wet and I'm jumping. Oh my God! I'm kicking the one girl. Hey, knock it off! What the fuck are you doing? In any case, we get security in there to separate the girls fine. They throw out the girls who had done the assault. And I talked to the drum tech who saw me do for the two people here in Philadelphia. He goes, yeah, I put those two people on the list. I didn't think it'd be nuts. I said, what two people? Well, that girl. Oh. I said, well, how'd you meet them? Well, they were smoking crack behind the bus. I said, dude, you give it to the clean ones. None of the people who are actively using it.
Oh my God.
That was pretty memorable.
That's awesome. So, I'm sure that was an adventurous live moment for you to witness. So, is there any other aspects of playing live that you enjoy the most?
Well, the energy is what it's all about for me. I think it has something to do with the fact that we named the record the Electric Age, that it's really an electric kind of a vibe, and it's. For me, it's probably my biggest addiction. I still get butterflies. I still get, I don't know if I can do this tonight. It's like 4,000 shows I've done.
Wow.
But but usually after about the first 30 seconds, that funnels into some kind of a maddening spiral that just, goes for the next 90 minutes. But that's what I'm most attracted to with regard to the band is the live theater.
So what about the difference between playing smaller clubs versus larger festivals? Do you have a preference between the two?
I'm more cut for the smaller clubs. Doing a place like this is killer. It's because it is what it is. It's you're right up front. You're sweating on them. They're sweating back on you. That's huge to me. Festivals are cool because they're overwhelming. They take your breath away. But something about this is. Being down there in the ditches and fighting it out in the trenches is what it's about for us.
Oh yeah, I've always heard it's easier to feed off the energy, like you said in the room. It's much smaller whenever your music right in your face.
Yeah, I've always been that kind of a person who likes to touch.
Yeah.
And if I can touch it, then I can feel it, and then it comes right inside me.
So just for fun question for you, what is the strangest rumor that you've heard about Overkill?
When I had a problem in 2002, I had what's called a TIA. I had it on stage in the 6 songs, very mild stroke, but it wiped me out. It was, obviously ended the show.
Yeah.
And the lights went down in my head, and then I thought it was power failure because I had no pain. And then the lights came up, but the sound went away. And I looked at my partner, and he was reaching, and I could see his hand moving in trails.
That's gotta be terrible.
Because I was going like this. It wasn't terrible. It's just kind of weird, but nothing hurt.
That would scare me to death.
Well, I ended up falling down a flight of stairs, and I did a lot of damage there. But the rumor was that I had announced that I was done with loving all the things I love and blew my brains out. I pulled a pistol in the 6th song, and shot myself in the side of the head. It was printed on it was posted on the internet from a Brazilian heavy metal magazine.
Wow.
Yeah.
You gotta wonder.
That's pretty bizarre rumor.
Wow. So, what are the big plans for the rest of 2012?
Well, it's going to be tour. And, you know, and it's funny, it all just keeps accumulating day after day. And even today, some Japanese and Asian interest shows came in from Alaska today, which will be our first time in Alaska. We have festivals all through the summer. The North American festivals are heavy MTL in Montreal, heavy TO in Toronto. A ton of European stuff. European tour, already a second American tour. Some friends of ours from the old days, one of the big guys, the big uno, dos, tres, cuatro, said, hey, let's come out with us too. Love what you guys are doing. And so let's see what happens.
So I'm guessing we can't talk about that one.
No, I mean, I don't like to put friends on the line, you know. I let people guess, you know.
It's cool, yeah.
Could it be?
That's awesome. Well, I'm going to thank you so much for taking a few minutes out to speak with me. I appreciate it.
No, it's my pleasure.
So is there any final message or comments you'd like to share with fans and our website audience?
See you later, King. Hang on tight, baby.